Hello, Willow. Oh my goodness, welcome to Wednesday. And we're almost at the end of our book, The Hodgeheg. I hope you've enjoyed it as much as I have. Let's find out what Max is going to get up to today. Are you ready? That's good. Chapter 8. Max could hardly wait for the next dawn. Something inside him said that today he would at last be successful in his quest, so his challenge. And outside him, every one of his 5,000 spines tingled with excitement. The more he thought of his conversation with Uncle B, the more he felt convinced that the answer to his problem lay with the small humans. Their crossing place must be the safest. Follow them and he would find it. He waited until the family were fast asleep, and then, blinking in the unaccustomed sunlight, he went along the path by the side wall of number 5A to the front gate. He did not go under it, but waited, watching beneath it. Already he had learned that you could tell the age of humans from the size of their feet, and he settled himself to wait patiently until a pair of small ones should come past. When at last they did, he was about to go out and follow, but then another pair went by, and then several pairs, and then, as the pavement filled up with the school-going children, dozens and dozens of small feet went walking, dancing, skipping, hopping past his gate. All of them were going in the same direction. To his left up the road, which would take them, he knew, to the end of the row of houses and past the factory to the red man and the green man. Was that, after all, where all small humans crossed? He must follow, he must know for sure. At last, when it seemed to him that no more feet were coming, Max crept under his gate and set out. Some way ahead he could see the tail of the procession, and he hurried after. He had passed the last of the houses and reached the factory entrance, when he saw that the crowd was taking no notice of the changing red and green men. They were going to a spot further on, and they were crossing over the road there. Ooh. He ran on, under the notice, max speed, 5 miles per hour, and he wasn't far short of it, until he was close enough to see exactly what was going on. And oh, what a scene it was. Oh, what a scene it was, he told the family and Uncle B that evening. There was this great big human. It was a female, I could tell by the voice, and she was dressed in a long white coat, and she had a black cap with a peak, and she carried a long pole, and on the top of the pole was a big white round disc with an orange rim and black marks on it. A magic wand it must have been, because she walked out into the middle of the street and held it up, and all the traffic stopped dead. He paused for breath. Then what? Said Pa. Then all the small humans went across, and the great big female just stood there until the very last one reached the other side safely. And all that time everything stood absolutely still. Buses, lorries, cars, motorbikes. Not one of them dared move an inch for fear of the great female and her magic wand. Where did the small humans go, Max? Asked Uncle B. Into a huge building, said Max, and I hid myself and watched all day. And at the end of the afternoon, they all came out the building again, and there was the great female waiting for them in her white coat and her black hat, and she waved her wand again and saw them all safely back across. I tell you, it's the ideal place for us. The huge buildings right next to the park. Nothing would ever dare touch us if we were under the protection of that great, powerful human. Who do you think the human was? Look, who is that? It's a lollipop person, isn't it? It's a lollipop lady. That's not a magic wand, is it? either. Silly Max. But I think he might have come up with a plan. But I don't want to spend the daytime in the parks, said Pa. Setting out in the morning and coming back in the afternoon, that's no good to me. I need a good day's sleep. You could get that, old hog, said Uncle B. You could go over in the morning, find a nice place to lie up, under the bandstand, let's say, get your 8 hours, have a good night's hunting, and come back the following morning. Do it once a week, perhaps. You could take your wife and the girls. It'd make a nice outing. Oh, please, Pa, please, please, cried Peony, Pansy and Petunia. Pa considered this. One of us ought to try it first. See if it works, he said. And if anyone's going, it's me. Not without me, said Ma stoutly. Why not let me go, Uncle B, said Uncle B. After all, I've had a good long life, and if anything else goes wrong, there'll be no one to miss me. Oh, yes, there will, cried all the family. Look, said Max, you don't know which way to go, how to get there, where exactly it is. None of you can go without me. Well then, said Ma, why don't we all go? That sounds like a good plan, doesn't it? And we're on to chapter 9, our last chapter. Oh, how exciting. We're going to find out if they make it across. Look, they're all heading out to go and find the crossing and the lollipop lady. Okay, here's your task for today, and I'll put this up on Dojo as well so you can write straight onto your screen. I would like you to think about the character Uncle B, and I would like you to draw an arrow on each scale, which I'll explain in a moment, to show what his character is more like. So I'll do one to show you. So the first one says friendly, and it goes on a scale from really, really friendly to really unfriendly. This one is helpful to unhelpful, polite to rude, so the opposite end, thoughtful to thoughtless. So thoughtful means that you really think about others, and if you're thoughtless, you only think of yourself, really. Yes, you don't think about other people. Careful or reckless. So reckless is the opposite of being careful, where you do things without thinking about it. And then we've got generous, so it means you're really kind to others, or selfish, which means you're really unkind, you only think about yourself. So I would like you to decide where you think Uncle B, the character of Uncle B, is on this scale. So I'm going to show you and explain the first one. So I'm going to put Uncle B right up here on the friendliness scale because I think he's definitely really quite friendly. I think that because he really helps Max. He helps Max, first of all, to get back to his home, and he tells Pa and Ma where he is. He offers Max some of his munchy meat when he goes round there, doesn't he? And he's also offering to go out on their expedition to the park, isn't he? So I think he's very friendly, but I haven't put him right at the top because actually I think he's perhaps someone who also likes some of his own time as well. So he lives on his own, doesn't he? So I think perhaps he enjoys that time sometimes too. So that's why I haven't put it right at the top. So now it's your job to decide where you think Uncle B is on this scale. So think about Uncle B. So for each one, draw an arrow to where you think he is on each of those scales. Okay, I'm looking forward to seeing what you think. Good job, everyone.